Hi everyone, it is Atia. Welcome back to another video. Today is a tag video. I'm going to be doing the Black Booktuber tag, and I'm super excited about this. So there's 9 different questions or prompts. The first one is tell us a little bit about yourself. I am a math and drama teacher. I have my bachelor's in theater and I'm currently pursuing my master's in arts administration. My favorite genres are fantasy and contemporary romance. I read a little bit of everything, like I don't discriminate against certain genres, but those are the 2 genres I read the most of every month or every year. Second question is, who is a Black author that you love that isn't talked about, or you don't see a lot of pizzazz? There's 2, and I originally wrote one, and then I was like, well, now I'm seeing hype for them, but then I thought of another, but I'm just going to shout out both. And so the first one, I'm going to put that up there. The first one is Talia Hibbert. You might have heard about her because, take a hint, Danny Brown just came out this month. This is July. It came out in June, I believe. And so she has also written Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which was really hyped and really popular at the end of last year. And then she has a ton of backlist books. I recently just finished this one. So in terms of rating, I gave these 2 5 stars. This one 4.5 stars, and I am waiting on the other 2 books in this series because I just cannot get enough of her writing. It's hilarious, it's steamy, it's fun, it reads so quickly. You become so absorbed in her writing that you just want to consume it all and not stop. Another author I love who definitely does not get a lot of love here, at least on BookTube, is Alexa Martin. She's another Black romance writer, and aren't these just so pretty? Look at them. Again, I find that her books deal with very complex characters, especially her main female protagonist. And so just look at these covers for a second. And I believe she has another book coming out in the same world. I think there's a 4th one called Snapped or something like that. I don't know. I'll research that in post. But yeah, I really love her books. I find them funny. I find them just so heartfelt. And the world she's built for these characters is so... it's realistic, but it's so rich. You can read these as separate novels, but as someone who started with the first one and just continued on, it's nice seeing those side characters get their own story, but it's also nice seeing the main characters of previous books also kind of be fleshed out in other novels, if that makes sense. So I really enjoy her writing. The next prompt is, what's a favorite book of yours about the Black experience? I had a hard time picking this one because I was like, do I want to pick a book that's well known? Do I want to pick something that's a little bit not well known? But I was like, just go with what your gut is saying, and my gut is saying The Hate You Give. This book, it's so unique in the big experience that happens to Star, but the reason I picked this is because Star bounces back and forth between, being surrounded by her people and then going to her predominantly white school. And while that is such a specific instance, one that I just identify with, I think the notion of having your safe place within the Black community and then having to go out into the world that sees you as less than, or sees you as a target, or sees you as the representation of your entire race, I just found that the bigger picture of Star's life really encapsulates the Black experience so well. Also, the writing is phenomenal. I am afraid to reread this book because I bawl. Every time I see the movie, I bawl. I weep. And so I'm very afraid to reread this. And I read this when it first came out, and that was at a time when I wasn't annotating. And so I do need to go back and reread it and annotate it and just mark it all up. Because because this is my original copy. I have 2 other copies that will stay pristine until the day I die. But this is the copy that's going to get the most love. Alright, next up, what is your favorite book by a Black author? This was kind of easy. I have a lot of favorite books by Black authors. The Hate You Give, Take a Hint, Jane Brown, Children of Blood and Bone, The June Bees, but one that came to mind that I cannot stop talking about is this beauty. Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mbalia. And this book, the allegory in this book, the writing in this book, the representation in this book, the mixing of West African folktales with distinctly Black American folk tales, and I just love this for what it was, what it will be, what it will always be. I read this at the beginning of the school year. Not the beginning of the school year, beginning of the calendar year. And as you can see, there's a bookmark in here because I fully intend to reread this before the summer is over. I need a reread. And I knew when I finished it a couple months ago that I was going to reread it within the year. I think about this book at least once a week. It is so amazing. I don't know what else to say except for the fact that I am supremely excited about the release of this book, the book's sequel, in November. Prompt number 5, recommend a Black queer book. For this one, I chose Full Disclosure, which was released at the end of 2019, but I read it a few months ago, and this follows, what's her name? Simone Garcia Hampton. And so Simone is questioning her sexuality while also dealing with her diagnosis of HIV. She's had it since she was a baby, and just kind of dealing with that in her life, dealing with that in terms of keeping it from people because she doesn't want to be discriminated against. And then she starts falling for this guy at her school, and she grapples with, do I tell him? Do I not? She also grapples with the fact, is she bisexual? Because she's interested in this dude, but she's also interested in girls. And just also that conversation she has with her 2 best friends who are queer, and that dynamic. I believe I gave this 4.5 stars for the topics that it deals with, but also the writing's hilarious. I mean, it's just a really funny book. I listened to it on audiobook, and I highly recommend that. And yeah, this is a favorite of the year. I think about this one a lot too. Next, we have a book that makes you happy by a Black author, and that is definitely Shuri by Nick Stone. I mean, any of the books I just listed, for the most part, make me happy. But this one is the one that comes to mind when it's like, what's a book that makes you happy by a Black author about a Black character? And I loved everything about this book. Just like the girlhood, the fact that we follow Shuri, who's just a Marvel character that I love, smartest girl in the Marvel universe. What? So this is definitely a book that makes me happy. I recently, like 10 minutes ago, filmed my June wrap-up, and I go more in depth about this book because I did indeed read it in June. I realized that I skipped question 6, which was actually recommend a book with a Black person on the cover. So any of the ones I just talked about, but also Lakewood by Megan Giddings. I believe this came out in March. This follows Lena Johnson, and she is reeling from the death of her grandmother, having to take care of her disabled mother, and she needs money, honestly. And she's approached by this company, I guess you could say, this organization, and it's in a remote town of Lakewood, Michigan, and they are testing something, some new drug or something like that, and they need human test subjects. And so she signs up to gain some extra income to support her dream of continuing with her college education, but also helping her mother and the bills from her grandmother's health issues prior to her passing. And it's so interesting, and it is so rich, and it has a lot of commentary. I listened to this one on audiobook, and I know for a fact that I will be rereading this before the year is up, because I need to go back and I need to annotate, because there is so much in here that deals with race, that deals with the relationship between the Black community and the medical field, the distrust that lies there, the lies that happen there, and I am just so intrigued, again, by this book, and it was so impactful. It was also very spooky. Not spooky, but like just, it was very chilling at moments. Just the writing and the way things were set up, and the way the author narrates, or the way the author, what's the word I'm looking for? Explores and takes us on a journey of her mental state while she's in this program, and I highly recommend this book. Alright, next up is recommend some Black booktubers. Some of my favorites from just like recently, but also a while ago. We have Ash at Bookish Realm, Zoe at Zoe's All Booked, Noria at Noria Reads, Ben at Ben Reads Books, and of course I'll put their links down below, but I'll also put the link for the Black Booktubers YouTube playlist that has over 140 different Black Booktubers, so you can go through that playlist and click on a video that seems interesting. Some of the videos are old, and so make sure you check out the video that's there, but also check out their channel in general, because that playlist isn't being like updated every day, if you will. Alright, 9. Talk about a book by a Black author that's coming out in 2020. This was actually coming out fairly soon in August, and it is The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. And I'm actually going to pull up Goodreads to give you a description. I'm part of the Own Voices book tour for this one, so I'm super excited for that. I will be doing a review on my blog and also a video review once I finish the arc, and I'm incredibly excited. So let me see. Yes, this comes out first week of August, August 4th, and this is an unforgettable coming-of-age debut novel that explores issues of race, class, and violence through the eyes of a wealthy Black teenager whose family gets caught in the vortex of the 1992 Rodney King riots. So we're in LA, 1992. Ashley Bennett and her friends are living the charmed life. It's the end of senior year, and they're spending more time at the beach than in the classroom. Everything changes one afternoon in April when 4 LAPD officers are acquitted after beating a Black man named Rodney King half to death. Suddenly, Ashley is not just one of the girls. She's one of the Black kids. As violent protests engulf LA and the city burns, Ashley tries to continue on as if life were normal, even as her self-destructive sister gets dangerously involved in the riots. Even as the model Black family facade of her wealthy and prominent parents have built starts to crumble. Even as her best friends help spread a rumor that could completely derail the future of her classmate and fellow Black kid LaShawn Johnson. With her world splintering around her, Ashley, along with the rest of LA, is left to question who is the us and who is the them. I am so excited for this book. I think I found out, I marked it as want to read in March. And I was so incredibly ecstatic and grateful when I was contacted and accepted into the Own Voices book tour for the Black kids. So you will be seeing that book on my channel. I do plan on getting to the arc of it. It's the middle of July, so probably next week. So that's fresh in my mind when I do the review. But yeah, that is the Black Booktuber Tag. Thank you so much for watching my video. Comment down below, what are some of your favorite books by Black authors centering Black voices and Black stories. Make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and that you press the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Check me out on all of my social media. Check out my blog and my Goodreads account, and I will see you in another video. Bye.
I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.